Welcome back to the All Seasons channel. Today, going to be working on a Suburban furnace. That's an SF30F, I believe. It's got a bad fan motor. When I got on site the other day, when I backed my truck in the driveway and shut it off, I could hear the furnace squealing and carrying on. So we ordered a motor, and today we're going to be switching that motor out. So let's go over and take a look and a listen. It's not squealing all the time, and I think it's probably just because the furnace is not lit. But sometimes it does howl. Hopefully it'll do it here in the next couple minutes. You can hear it. Of course, right now it won't squeal. Like I say, it's not been burning here, so I think that's probably the difference, because when I got on site the other day, it was just non-stop squalling. And you probably heard it during the intro. That was it. I was really hoping it would squeal here, so while I was over here at the furnace, but you know how that goes. Oh well, you're just gonna have to trust me. It makes a lot of noise sometimes, so we're gonna start switching this thing out. And yes, it is a Suburban furnace. It's an SF30F. It's out of the case. The case stayed in the camper on this one. They really done a dirty trick on this one. So this is one of those furnaces that does not have a door to the outside of the camper. So this is just the wall of the camper. Well, the case had 2 screws in it out here against the wall. So there's no way in the world you'd ever get that case out. So this one you just pull the furnace right out of the case and leave the case. So we have the furnace, and we're going to start working on this. This is actually my second furnace motor today. This one come out of an old hydroflame furnace. And here's what was wrong with this one. Yeah. It ain't supposed to do that. It's supposed to be like that. Well, that one wore out too. Holy moly. Yeah, both ends of it's wore out. Bushings are just flat wore out in that one. It was making a lot of noise too. So here is our new motor for our Suburban furnace. This is actually a direct replacement for this furnace. I think this is kind of funny. Now this is the old motor out of that furnace that I did this morning, the hydroflame, with the wore out bushings. Could not get an OEM motor for this furnace, just not available. The year of the COVID, not available. So I had to buy a universal motor, which I don't really like the universal motors. I was telling the customer, I don't really remember why, but it seemed like I put a universal motor in a furnace a long time ago, and like the next year I had to go back and put another motor in it. So I just haven't bought those universal motors. But the universal motor to replace this one was $90. This OEM Suburban motor was $270. That's a big difference. Universal motor looked just like this one, only it had the wires coming out of it, just like this one. Of course, you know, these are different diameters, but still, my goodness. The universal motor for hydroflame, 90. OEM for the Suburban, 270. That's ridiculous. But anyhow, we're going to get it switched out. All right, the first thing we're going to do is get this bracket that holds the board. Holds that board on out of the way so we can get in there to that squirrel cage fan. Stand it up on its side. Get these 3 screws out here. There's a little, I don't know what you call it. It's almost like a venturi here that guides the air into the furnace, into the squirrel cage fan. So let's get this out of the way, and then that fan will slip off through this hole. All right, we're going to leave that fan in there right now until we get the plastic one off the other end. So we're just going to flop this right back over to the other side. Then we got probably 6 or 8 screws on this side that will expose the combustion fan. I believe that's what it's called, a combustion fan. That's what I call it anyway. Little cardboard gasket under here that you really have to be careful with. If you don't tear it up, you can reuse it. It's no big deal. And if I do tear it up, I believe I've got replacement ones out there in the van. Then I did not video that furnace from this morning because that camper was sitting underneath of like a metal carport kind of thing, and it was pouring rain when I was down there, and that rain on that metal roof was really loud, and people complain about my audio quality anyway, and that would have been really bad. So we got all the screws out. Now we'll just very carefully lift this thing. We want the gasket to stay all on one side. Doesn't matter whether it comes off with this little cap or it stays on the furnace. This one stayed on the furnace, and that's just fine. Hard to believe, no bee's nest. That's might be a first. No mud daubers, no nothing in that thing. All right, now I'll bring you over here and show you this here in just a second. Let me find the right size Allen wrench. That ain't it. All right, first try. This one has a little plastic combustion fan with this clamp. So we just need to get this, get that bolt loosened up and loosen that clamp, and should be able to pull this fan off. And actually I was going to show you a trick on this, but can't because this one's not made right. Someday I'll show you a little trick for getting these combustion fans off. Let me get that clamp loose, and we'll be back. Once you get that clamp loose, it'll actually just come off. And now we get to get this fan off. Sometimes they come off pretty well, and then other times they don't. Hopefully this will be one that comes off pretty well. These little plastic fans, you can't hardly pry on them just because they're a little bit on the fragile side. I mean, you got to pry on a little bit, but say hopefully this one will be one of those that comes off pretty well. Yeah, I think it's already moving. Well, maybe not. Oh, there it is. There we are. There's your little combustion fan. I'm pretty sure that's what that's called, your combustion fan. All right, that exposes. Once you get that fan out, that exposes the two nuts that hold the motor in. So now we're gonna flip it back over and get the squirrel cage fan off, or the blower fan, and then we'll get these nuts off. Same deal, the squirrel cage fan or blower fan is held on with a set screw that has to use an Allen wrench on, and typically they're same size on both ends. Matter of fact, I guess just about every furnace has the same size Allen set screw in these fans. Say that this one here may be actually down in the hole. It's kind of hard always. It's kind of hard to get an Allen wrench in a screw down in a hole. Try the next size smaller. Oh, look at there. They're different sizes. Man, somebody went full grill on that one. We can get that motor out of there first. Silly me. Flip-a-rooney it back over again. Let's see here. Yeah, absolutely. we can work on that squirrel cage fan after we get it out here where we can work on it. All right, got those two nuts out off those studs on the end of that motor. Now let's turn this thing back on its bottom. Should be able to work that motor right out of there. Oh, after we get some wires unhooked. Get the red one unhooked. The black one is going to be plugged into a ground terminal under here, right there. These are the motor leads. There we go. That loosened everything up. All right, now we just should be able to slip the whole mess out. Just like so. Now we can work with that little. Now we can work with that little hole. Where is it? Oh, there it is. That so we can get to that Allen set screw. That's our little rubber. Probably just a dampening thing. I don't know. Maybe to keep noise down. I don't know. Can you see? I can't. Okay, now we'll just get a pair of pliers and turn that. All right, here we go. Ah, look at there. Piece of cake. Now we take notice of how far the motor shaft sticks through this fan. We put the other one on about the same way and should be really, really close. We might have to make a minor or final adjustment to make everything fit nice and all that, but that'll get us pretty close. At about 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to blow this fan out. I get a lot of dust built up in them, and I'm going to blow it out. See all that junk come out? Yeah. I've seen a lot worse. Well, these motors have a D-shaped shaft. I don't know whether that's going to show up or not. Does the D-shape show up at all? Yeah, it does have a D-shaped shaft. So the flat spot on the motor is where the set screw goes. So you got to put it in there the right way. Leave about the same amount of shaft sticking through as what we had before. And just tighten that set screw up. Slide it out just a little bit more. That's about the same as it was. I know you can't see, but just trust me. Trust me. It is just about the same. Click, 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 click. Torque to exact specifications. Yeah, we'll just put our motor back in there. Make sure we get our wires in there. Not get your hand stuck in the furnace. That's always kind of important. Not get your hand stuck somewhere. Put her little, I don't know, it's probably a vibration thing, I don't know. Some of them's got rubber like this, some has just a little foam one. Some, I don't know, they all just about have them, I guess. Some type. Orient the motor the same as it was. Try to anyway. All right, now we'll just get one of these nuts started in here, and then we can stand it up on its end. Get the other one on. Get those snugged up. All right, got both nuts started. We're gonna tighten those up. All right, always spin the fan, make sure it's not hitting on something. Now we can go ahead and slide this one back down. This end of this motor's got a D-shaped shaft on it also, which matches the D shape in the fan. Get her, put her clamp back on. Snug that up with the Allen wrench. Drop the Allen wrench. Oh, that's only the second time I've dropped the Allen wrench today. Second time in the last 10 minutes. Okay, that is snugged up. Spin a root. Everything sounds good. We'll put our cover back on. Put the screws back in. Do yourself a favor too. Always get all your screws started before you get any of them tight. Why, you ask? Well, do it the other way. See how that works out for you sometimes. You don't have to believe me. You can try it your way. I just try and give you helpful hints sometimes. But, you know, you can do whatever you want with that information. You can use it. You can not use it. You can criticize. You can homogenize, you can characterize, I don't know, all kinds of I's. I'm just trying to help. All right, those are all snugged up. Now, let's flip-a-rooney it one more time. Get our little plastic thingy back on over here. Give the old fan one more spin. Make sure it ain't hitting nothing. Nothing's rubbing, nothing's scraping, nothing's making a horrible noise. Turn it back over for the very last time. That's usually famous last words. All right, let's just get this bracket that holds the board back on. We're going to take this thing outside to the truck and test fire it. We don't really know if it's going to make any noise for a while, because I let that thing run for probably 20 minutes or more before it started squealing in here. before I started working on it, before I turned the camera on. And then after I turned the camera on, it wouldn't make the noise anymore. So I'm pretty sure it's probably a temperature thing, because when this furnace is inside the case and it's burning and making heat, everything in here is really hot. So get our motor plugged back up. I told you when I said I was turning it over for the last time that probably wasn't true. And look here, I was right, because we got to turn it over one more time to hook the ground wire up for the motor. Get it stuffed down in the hole there where we can get a hold of it. Flip it for the last time. There's our wire. And there's our little ground block where all of our ground wires for the furnace are at. Get it plugged in. Ouch, ouch, pinched myself, ow. Look at that, ow, ow, that hurt. Good thing I'm in here where it's warm, my hands ain't cold. Woo, doggies. That would really hurt if your hands are cold. Hurt bad enough with warm hands. I'd like to know how many times them old pliers have pinched a digit. Those pliers are older than I am. They probably pinched my digit 1,000 times. All right, let's get our gas line hooked up. Got the gas cut on. Hook our jumper wire up to our furnace wires. And she lit right up, just like it's supposed to. Well, there you have it. There's changing your fan motor in your Suburban furnace. They're all kind of basically the same. The Suburbans are. The more modern Suburbans are. I should say. Hey, thanks for watching. As always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not. Share with your friends. And I'm going to go down the road. Probably going to go down the road and put this one in. So it is 3 o'clock on Friday. I don't know. This is the best weather we're going to have for the next few days, so I may go ahead and go do this one. May not. I don't know. But anyhow, I'm going to go find something to do, and y'all have a fantastic day.